Ready, Rowdy?
He's on mute.
Oh, is he muted? Okay.
Yes, I'm ready.
All right. As he swerves off the road. I'd like to call this meeting in order, please. Everybody join us in the pledge, please. Pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thanks, everyone. Here on the dark evening, the longest day of the year. if I'm not mistaken.
Shortest.
Shortest, I'm sorry, exactly. We're gonna work towards that long, so it'll be sunny out there then. Let's do approval of the December the 6th meeting, please. Carol made a motion.
Second.
Second by Larry. Is that all yes?
Yes.
The muted man votes yes unless we hear differently.
Yes.
Come in loud and clear.
Unless you object, I'm going to assume that it's a yes, that you're voting in the affirmative.
That is perfect, Steve, thank you.
Okay. All right, Bill, or Ray, we don't have anyone signed in. Okay. Let's go then to reports. We have Rhonda Kersey. Rhonda's going to talk to us about the Wellness Council. Get all her materials together there.
Start right here and pass one each down.
Got your Christmas sweater on.
Hey, it's Christmas. Speaking of which, Merry Christmas, everyone. Put this in, and I have a slight PowerPoint that will go with. Let's see, is it on this side?
It's all the same thing.
Okay. We have the copy of the wellness policy that you have was actually revised in 2004. Oops, I need to copy this. Can you work that one? Thank you. There has not been a revision in this policy for the past 12 years.
Okay.
I was approached by Jeff to head out the new Wellness Council in collaboration with Angie. So when her and I went to the conference, we discovered that there are some new things that the federal government is wanting the wellness councils to do and to implement. And some of that is more outreach, more community involvement. So this is what we're going to be talking about, is that together the community parents, as you can read this, together as a group, as a collaborative, as a team, we can work together to ensure that our students of the county are healthy all the way around. Now, we know that when students are healthy and well, that they are better learners. We also believe that when we talk about student wellness, we think of two things. We think of nutrition and physical activity. However, underneath the new guidelines and the new perspectives, they're also looking into social well-being and emotional well-being. And if you look at the statistics lately, social well-being is really high on the watch list for suicide, bullying, and as well as the interaction between academics and failure, achievement and failure. the more apt you are to have a well-rounded wellness and well-being, the more apt you are to be a better achiever. We also know that they'll be have better grades and remember what was taught in class, behave better, as well as miss less school time. A wellness policy helps create nutrition education, which is one of the things that we're going to be working on, is providing that to our community, as well as making it a team effort. That's okay. And our team effort, this is where is going to be comprised of not just school members, but community members, organization members, and community members that are interested in what's going on at our school system with our students. And point being, this wasn't designed by me, this was designed by the nutrition, the USDA themselves, so if it's, all I had to do was add things, I didn't realize that the transitions were quite so fast. Oh, that would be great. And some of the team members that we would like to have are not just the teachers and the principals who we've already talked with, but members from our school board as well as students and other community leaders. So I'll be trying to petition the commission, county commission, to come in and be part of this as well. Okay. Our next meeting will be on January 12th at 2 o'clock here at the board office. We would like for all of you to be able to attend if possible, extending an invitation to be part of our wellness council. This committee will be developing the new policy, which will be able to link to our new wellness page, which between Mike McCormick and I, we're working on now to develop. The new policy will be on there, the old policy will not. That's what, if you look through the old policy, you'll see there are some points on there that are not quite up to speed. Now, our wellness policy already supports healthy breakfasts and lunches. It also provides new smart snacks. Now, smart snacks are now regulated by the USDA, and that is your fruit juices that are high in content of fruit but low in sugar. And they're also promoting, healthy snacks like pretzels, fruit slices, dried fruits, things that will promote a more rounded and healthier education. Any other questions, you can contact Angie. Okay. Now, there are different types of wellness that they're going to be talking about. This year, we're going to be talking about jump rope for health. We're going to be talking about the 5Ks that go around, like the Relay for Life. Those are going to be included in our policy. Selling fruits and vegetables, I believe the band just did that, or one of them, I'm not quite sure who around here was selling them, but that's also included as part of promoting our wellness. We're trying not to encourage selling candy bars anymore. Though that's everybody's favorite fundraiser, we're trying not to encourage it. And donuts. I think I just saw somebody with donuts earlier. Okay. Now, food and beverage is not sold to students. We're going to be including the new My Plate that has been around as part of the education process. A lot of people and parents and community members aren't aware of what My Plate is. It's no longer the food pyramid. We don't, it's not listed as a food pyramid. It's listed as proportional food. You have your grains, you have your dairy, you have your protein, and it's all in proportion as it would be on a plate. Now it's called our My Plate, and it'll be provided with our education and the menus, and it'll be provided on. They didn't write that down. It'll be provided in some of the handouts as well as our new policy. That's one of the things that they're asking for. Some of the education that we'll be offering will be training cooks to know more about eating healthy, better eating patterns, as well as educating the teachers and parents and community members on what is better for their child to be eating than going out and buying them that candy bar. And I'm just as bad, you can ask Kirk, because I sneak in his office and I get his chocolate candy bars. So, the other benefit that they'll be talking about is the benefit of exercise. And that goes back to our 5Ks, our jump rope for hard. I don't know if we have the triathlon here. I'm kind of out of the loop on what some of them do, but those are some of the things that promote healthy heart, healthy bodies, healthy minds. Okay. You can go to the USDA website and get any free handouts, posters, activities, and these are all things that we're going to be putting out to the teachers and the schools so that they'll be aware of what is out there for them. That, you know, they don't have the money to spend, or they don't have to spend money to get these. Some of the things that that we're going to talk to them about to encourage better nutrition, and we've already done it once. We had a taste contest last year, and they also judged the plates for high school lunches and the lunches across the county, and we did pretty well. We didn't win, but we had some really nice looking plates that were submitted for the state contest. And there are other things that we can do. We can put more nutrition posters in the classroom, talk about classroom activities, maybe naming new lunch items, making it a more collaborative effort. And then, of course, that goes along with the physical activity. School sports, recess, physical education, activity breaks in the classroom. We have after-school activities, recess, maybe the students walking to school, that's a good, healthy activity. But the activity breaks in the classroom right now is one of the most researched topics when it comes to health and wellness for students. They say that after a few, you've been sitting in a chair for 20 to 25 minutes, get up, stretch, do something. When you sit back down, you're refreshed and you're ready to go on. Now, we as adults get tired of sitting. Imagine what a 8-year-old, you know, the longer they sit, the fidgety comes along and the elbows go out, the whispering starts. Get them up, stand them up, take a small break, put them back down, and they're ready to go again. Okay, this is one of the things that we are actually looking to see about doing away with across the board. This was one of the topics at our conference, was, you know, we've got the food and beverage market, and you see that everywhere. Sponsors, Pepsi sponsors a lot of the sports teams, Coca-Cola, all of those do, and you know, we're grateful for that at our sporting events. But we would need to get them out of the schools so that they're more aware of healthier choices. And going back to some of the school-based activities for health and nutrition, we can work with a school garden, which we have at a couple of the schools already. Hamlin has a fabulous garden that they're working on, and Heather Cook will be coming into the after-school program this year, working with students from garden to table, showing students that by using vegetables and fruits and how to prepare them and what's better for them, instead of looking at that green pepper going, ew, I don't want to eat that. You know, make food fun. So she'll be coming and working with us, and we'll be working, as I said, in collaborative with West Virginia University Extension Agency. You can find our wellness policy here. This is it is a page link from the food service page. Go to food service, hit a tab, and it'll bring up our page. Right now, what you'll just see is just a couple little things, because I said, it's a work in progress. Pretty soon, we'll have, I'm gonna put a similar PowerPoint up on it. We're gonna have a forum on it so that parents can come and comment, you know, maybe give ideas, and it's going to be administrated by Angie and myself, so that if anything derogatory or things that should not be on there will not be posted. Though I'm not gonna say, you know, I don't want parents to come back and say, well, you didn't post it, well, you know, maybe the language is not appropriate. You know, so it is going to be managed carefully. And I am your go-to person for the policy questions. However, I'm new at this, and just getting to know this policy and the updated revisions that are going to be made. So like I said before, we invite you all to be part of that process so that we're all aware of what is going to be going on in our policy and ensure that our students get what they need. Okay. So can we change our wellness policy?
We'll look at the next slide it has, Ann.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right? I realized that after I looked at it, I was like, oh, well, huh. But yes, we can. Can we get more information about school meals and smart snacks? You can go to the USDA site to get the information about smart snacks. How often is a wellness policy updated? Well, I wrote on there, ours is currently being updated, but they're saying that it should be updated every 4 to 5 years now, or as policies in the federal level, at USDA level, changes, that's when the policies should also be changed. And who are students involved on the wellness committee? We actually do. We invite them to be on the committee, and we had 4 students come to the conference and are now part of what is called Fed Up. And Fed Up is a program for students to be part of their own health and wellness. Jeanette Cremines is leading that little team of people. And who do I contact? Angie or myself. There's the answers. Okay, I think that was it on this. Now, one of the pages that I gave you was the activity log. That activity log is what the schools and the community partners get. If they're wanting to be part of the team, a part of the process, they fill these out, but it is required by the schools. They have to do at least 3 out of 4. No, they have to do 4 out of 5, I'm sorry. They changed that, they have to do 4 out of 5. And one of them needs to be social or emotional wellness. So they need to have something in there that shows that they are working towards improving social wellness and emotional wellness. So this is one of the things that the principals all got. In fact, some of them are already working on that as well already.
Are you saying these are currently in this policy?
No, those are the page I just gave you is the newest. That policy is actually 12 years old.
Well, when you talk about the schools will be responsible for doing the number that you just gave us.
It will be in the new updated policy.
Okay, it's not in there now, but
No.
if you're proposing it, would be.
Yes. Any other questions?
Now, as far as the other outside school entities, would there be an encouragement for them to participate in things also that might not be school related?
Such as?
Well, I know the extension service, for
Mhm.
one, does things like that with nutrition. And there may be things that go through some of the other agencies, I'm not sure.
Lincoln Primary Care offers fit camps to all of our, actually they had them at 3 of our schools this past summer. So we work in collaboration with them as part of, and they have come aboard as part of our wellness partners.
I mean, I'm just thinking of those same entities that you'd want to have the same goals, but they may not necessarily be school related. Some of these things could be adult related.
That we're actually asking for some of the community members to come in. And not necessarily to be part of and fill out activity logs, to be part of the process, to be there as a support. They may have grandchildren, nieces, nephews, children in the community, or no children, church members. And as being part of the process, they're able to be there for support. They can be there for encouragement. Right now, we've got a lot of students that they're in foster care. And there's your social, there's your emotional, well-being that is not being met all the way to some standards. But by being, maybe going to church with someone, or being in another activity, maybe they're on junior football, the youth football league, that coach could be that support person. So there are different ways for our community to be a supportive member of this council.
Well, sometimes they have these exercise programs for adults.
Yes.
They might take place in a school, they might take place anywhere.
Well, that's kind of going to be our next venue that, I wish I could remember Claire's last name. It's driving me crazy all day. I keep forgetting to check it. I want to say it's Burton, but I'm not. Please don't quote me on that. She works with the Red Cross, or the Heart Association, I'm sorry, under the shared use. And she is waiting until probably after the first year to contact Jeff or Bill, one of the two, to see about talking with the principals about shared use in the county. And that way the schools can be used, not just a walking track, but other, in the wintertime it's too cold to walk. So that's what she wants to talk about is, shared use facilities. That'll be that's our next step.
Well, there was an activity that took place here at the board office that some people.
Yoga.
Okay. That's kind of something like that could occur
Yes.
anywhere, yeah.
And that actually falls under the policy, because when they look at the wellness, they're not just really talking about the students. They're looking at the adult members of our education, our staff, as supportive as representing the education system in the county. They're also saying, this is something you need to also do, be presentative and get out there so that those students can see, well, hey, they're doing it, maybe I can do it as well. Yoga was one of them.
Yeah. Well, that's obviously something that you need to do, because oftentimes, once people get out of school, they don't do any physical things anymore. So our goal is to teach kids not only to do it while they're in school, but to have adult activities too.
Exactly, good habits. And that, think of habits, good academic habits, but there's also good wellness habits. Eating correctly, eating what you should be eating, drinking more water. One of the things the students have asked for from our Fed Up is the water bottle refill stations. And currently, I am currently working with she's from another one, Kathy from Highmark, on a grant to hopefully get at least 10 water bottle refill stations in our schools.
Now, is there a time frame on completing this and having a new policy?
We actually have until September 30th of 2017 to finish that. So, we've got some time. However, with everybody's schedules, if we don't get on it, it won't get done.
Well, who were some of the people that participated in that first meeting that you had here? Because I'm just thinking about, I know that Keith Dalton from Lisa Tuesday was here, and I know he's, heavily involved in what we're doing. Who were some of the other?
Keith Dalton was here from RESA 2. Claire from, and I do apologize, I can't remember her last name, was here from the Heart Association. Audrey Robinette from FRN, who is, she is the leader of the SAG chapters at the high school, as well as working with our cooking classes that are being promoted throughout the county. So she's on board. Dave Roberts, Christopher Blair from Lincoln County Primary Care was here, and we had Mr. Young, I believe. I'll just remember his first name is Steve. from the high school, representing the high school. We had 6 or 7 people here besides Angie and myself, so I think we had a really good turnout, and they were very excited about working with us and getting together.
Anybody have anything else? Any other questions? Input? Well, just keep us posted as you go along here, and remind us when things are gonna happen, and those, that way, not only us, but I'm sure the information will get out there and others may want to take, I guess, any citizen can attend meetings if they chose.
Yes, yes, and we're, we want to get more involved. This is one of those cases where too many cooks doesn't spoil the pot.
Okay, good. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, that was the only presentation we had tonight, so we're in the administrative section. We have a motion to lift those. Greg made a motion. Second by Mr. Larry. Okay.
Okay, item A are school volunteers who on occasion may also serve as bus chaperones for athletic events, academic competitions, or school outings, and have completed volunteer orientation. Item B, an out-of-state trip for Midway Elementary 5th grade students to Mason, Ohio, May the 21st through the 23rd, 2017. Transport by private coach, expenses paid by group. Just want to mention these end-of-year reward trips and class trips. That week of May the 21st is the absolute earliest date that I'll give my blessing for any group to take a trip out of state. Our testing window opens April 21st this year. It's the last 30 days, last 30 instructional days we have in the school year, which if you look at that date, dates of May 21st and the 23rd, we will have tested for, potentially would have tested for a month. So elementary schools like Midway and Ranger, certainly by that time would be finished or completed with their testing. Item C, an out-of-state trip for Hamel 8th grade students to Washington, D.C., June the 1st through the 3rd, 2017, transport by private coach, expenses paid by group. The last day of school for our students, pending any reason for adjusting our calendar. Hopefully we don't have any snow or, it is June the 2nd, so that trip in particular is after school is, we complete the school year. And item D, out-of-state travel for Dallas Plumley to Fort Knox, Kentucky, March the 12th through the 18th, 2017, to attend the JROTC instructor training. It's no cost to the school system, and this is required training through ROTC to those instructors every other year, one or the other instructor institute.
Okay. Anybody have anything else? If not, call for question. Done an all yes vote on those items?
Yes.
Yeah. And in the finance section, we have a motion, please.
I'll second.
Fred made the motion and Carol seconded it. Ray?
Schedule of invoices totaling $1,291,526.15, and that's attached. If you have any questions, of course, you can let me know. If you notice, that total doesn't match what's shown on your report because there was an invoice that was left off. It was for Stevens Auto for the truck. I think that truck was $28,890. So this total you see to the right is a little bit more than the listing of invoices. County pension for the following retired employees effective 10/1/16, paid from the county's excess levy. After 32 years, Danny Daly is going to get $38.50 a month. So that's well-earned money for Danny. Budget supplements totaling $356,941.74, and transfers totaling $80,793. And of course, attached, we got the monthly financial statements with the cash balances and other information. Do I have any questions? I can go over anything.
Okay. The Ray, we still got money, right?
We have money, and that, I can show you that on the pages that are
We
attached.
still got money. It's always our paramount question each month.
We have
How we
cash,
see.
and we have revenue coming in, so that's always a good thing. As long as, you know, the tax collections stay up, then we could be okay. If the governor cuts anything, we could be, of course, that's gonna hurt. I don't know if he's gonna cut any more. I've heard rumors.
Nobody knows those things. So if you come in one meeting, you're kind of downtrodden and all, we'll start to worry.
Well, I've looked at the budget numbers and I've looked at what we have. As long as the tax collections stay okay, then we'll likely be okay. But if something happens, if everything's front-loaded, then, you know, I worry about that. I don't know if the tax collections are front-loaded the first half of the year. If that's the case, then, you know, we'll be cutting it close.
Well, we don't know, but, you know, individuals need businesses, how they're having to adapt to that now, we don't know.
I didn't know if you could look back historically and tell if, you know, most of it came in the first half of the year, if it came in the last half. I haven't had a whole lot of experience with that as far as receiving those tax checks.
But that could change based upon economic conditions.
Yeah.
You know,
That's a
somebody
good
who's
point.
typically paying before September, so I can't do that anymore. But we'll see. All right, thank you. Okay, is that an all yes on the finance items?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go to personnel then. Have a motion, please. Carol made the motion, Larry second. Bill?
Okay, item A, employment of professional personnel pending FBI, CIB clearance and issuance of certification. Item B, employment of professional personnel. Item C, transfer of professional personnel. Number 2, under item C, instead of January 3rd, that should reflect January 17th. That's at the end of the semester.
We're wanting to allow for a smooth transition prior to Mr. Sampson beginning his new role as a dean of students at Guy Valley. I feel like it's in the best interest of the students and staff at that school to go ahead and put him in that position. We have a plan for Duval. We have a young lady finishing up her math certification right now who can plug in and fill in for that position for Mr. Sampson immediately. And as well as the fact that if there are any issues or concerns there, Mr. Linville and I have spoken to Mrs. Patton, principal. She and her assistant both have math backgrounds. Mrs. Patton is a national board certified math teacher. So if there was any issues or anything that would come up, we feel that she's more than able to
Okay, so he's going to begin on the 17th, 2 weeks later.
yes, after this first semester is over.
So that 2-week period of time, he will still be at Duval.
Yes, he'll be there up through January 16th.
And at what point will we advertise for his replacement?
We can go ahead and post that
I
position
mean,
now.
when would that be effective, the 17th? too?
Yes.
Okay, Bill.
Okay, item D, transfer of service personnel. Item E, employment of extracurricular personnel. Item F, leave of absence. Item G, resignations and retirements. And also rescind the transfer of Steve Bird, bus operator, Route 12, pending return of that regular employee effective December 9th, 2016. Mr. Bird had stepped up for a bus driver that we have off due to illness, and he decided that wasn't what he wanted to do. He wanted to go back to his regular halftime run, so we'll be reposting that pending return of that employee. And mention about a posting. We will not be getting the posting out tomorrow. We're gonna wait till after January 3rd because we only have one day in that posting because of all the days we're off over Christmas, and people kind of get upset if something's posted. And you know, even though we extend it, but sometimes we'd rather wait until we get back to post those positions. Also, under personnel, one of the things I put up there was a document from Gold Drives. Personnel, when the board has to vote and make decisions, was moved from March 1st to May 1st this year, which gives us 2 more months. which is great because we know a little bit more what number of students we have. We have a little bit better idea about Title I, a lot of different things there we will have there. But we would like to have proposed to the board to have a work session on February 1st. We're gonna meet with the principals and the directors mid-January, mid to late January. And at that time, after we have those, then we will schedule the hearings for early April and probably vote on those April 18th and leave that board meeting for the 25th in case there's bad weather, we don't have a meeting, if there's something we have to correct, we want to leave us one meeting in there to make those corrections.
We have a session? Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Work session.
And also on our professional positions, we keep plugging along. We finally got everything filled at Midway. The third grade at Hamlin is a vacancy that was already there. That wasn't an added position. That was someone that was at Duval that was holding that position. The next year we wouldn't let them move. They moved to West Hamlin. So now that's a true vacancy, so we will be posting that. And then at Harts, the health appeal will be reposted. Special ed is, we're waiting, we have a couple of people and we're waiting on the principal's interview on that. And if you look down the bottom, we still have 5 professional. We did add 1 service. That was the aid that we had to add at Duval. So other than that, we're plugging along.
Everything's okay. Must be expected. Okay, now, we're ready for the voting part. Is there anybody
Jeff,
coming?
Steve, I'd like to request an executive session on a personnel issue before we vote regarding them.
Ms. Smith requested a personnel executive session. Second to that motion.
It won't take long.
Need a second?
Yes.
Yeah, second.
Second by Mr. Wilkerson. Add all yes to the board members?
Yeah.
Yes.
Board's going to go into executive session at 6:40.